At Motegi, Pecco wasn't yet dominant. He finished practice in 7th, only 0.3 behind Bezzecchi. But the detail mattered. Instead of being 8/10 off, he was 2/10 away. Instead of drowning, he was breathing. Instead of fading, he was fighting. Fraction by fraction, lap by lap, corner by corner. Casey Stoner's role cannot be dismissed. The Australian's words, his presence, his perspective. It was the reminder Bagnaia needed. A voice outside the chaos. A man who had conquered Ducati when few believed it possible. The psychological boost was immeasurable. Sometimes it's not setup. Sometimes it's not data. Sometimes it's belief. And so, Misano's Monday test may have given Bagnaia what he needed most. Not parts, not settings, not theories, but confidence. Braking hard, feeling alive, reclaiming the instinct that once made him champion. No escape, no surrender, no retreat. A two-time world champion in 2022 and 2023, Pecco Bagnaia was once the face of stability at Borgo Panigale. Calm, calculated, consistent. He proved that titles could still be won not through chaos, but through composure. Yet, in 2025, that aura has cracked. The champion looks less like the Iron Man of Ducati and more like a shadow walking among giants. All about composure, all about clarity, all about control. And in the shadow of Marc Marquez's thunderous resurgence, Pecco's decline feels even sharper. The GP25, meant to be Ducati's refinement, became his enigma. Corner entry, once his deadliest weapon, turned traitor. Every braking zone, every approach into turns bled away his strength. No rhythm, no confidence, no grip. At Barcelona, at Silverstone, Pecco lost tenths before battles even began. While Marquez mastered the GP25 overnight, taming it like a predator stalking prey, Bagnaia slipped further into doubt. He arrived at Motegi trailing Alex Marquez by 93 points. 5 races without a podium, a man once built on relentless podiums reduced to surviving. Not 5th, not 6th, not 8th, a champion scraping to exist. By Misano, Ducati had run out of patience. Gigi Dall'Igna admitted it publicly. Their double champion was in crisis. But then everything changed, not in the race, but in the Monday test. And in the garage, a ghost returned. Casey Stoner, the sharp-eyed Australian, walked in. He saw what no one else had seen. Old champion, old wisdom, old truth. Stoner spotted a flaw in the GP25 that had plagued Bagnaia all year, and suddenly light broke through the cracks. Ducati team boss Davide Tardozzi confirmed it before Motegi. Yes, we found something in Misano. We had no time during the race, but now we found a way. Bagnaia himself backed it up. I felt good in braking. I was harder, stronger, like last year. It was all about braking. It was always about braking. For months, Bagnaia's signature, the late, aggressive stop, had vanished. In Japan, it returned. The paddock barely believed it when Friday's FP1 sheets appeared. Bagnaia first with a 1:44.857, ahead of Jorge Martin, ahead of Marc Marquez, ahead after months of being behind. Never easy, never certain, never over. Tardozzi was almost trembling. Asked if Pecco was truly back, he said only, for sure. The weight of that word echoed, for sure. A two-time world champion cannot belong in 8th. A Ducati leader cannot be stuck behind satellites. A factory's pride cannot erode in silence. The shock came in whispers. Ducati had rolled Bagnaia's bike back. Last year's swing arm, last year's fork, even the 2024 ride height device. The so-called GP25 evolution was stripped back to what once worked. Not revolution, not invention, restoration. Sometimes the way forward is the way back. Bagnaia admitted as much. We had to try things we never thought of. The Misano test gave them freedom to experiment outside the chaos of a weekend. And in In those hours, confidence was reborn. He could brake hard again. He could lean into corners without hesitation. He could fight like himself. All about trust, all about touch, all about timing. Still, Pecco remained cautious. "It's only Friday," he said. "We have to wait for qualifying for the sprint." He knows the pattern. Small revivals followed by collapse. Aragon hungry. Each time, false dawns. But this time the tone was different. The sharpness returned. The spark was visible. No illusions, no denial, no lies. For Ducati, this was salvation. Not because Bagnaia would suddenly beat Marquez to the title. Marquez already had one hand on it. But because Ducati cannot survive as a one-man empire. Pecco is their long-term anchor, their Italian face, their legacy in motion. Without him, Ducati's future rests solely on Marc, and that is a dangerous gamble. Marketing, legacy, balance, stability. Alex Marquez will receive a full GP25 next year. 4 factory-spec Ducatis on the grid. The data flood will help. But Ducati needs Bagnaia competitive. Not fading, not doubting, not hiding. They need him sharp. They need him fighting. They need him alive at the front. At Motegi, Pecco wasn't yet dominant. He finished practice in 7th, only 0.3 behind Bezzecchi. But the detail mattered. Instead of being 8/10ths off, he was 2/10ths away. Instead of drowning, he was breathing. Instead of fading, he was fighting. Fraction by fraction, lap by lap, corner by corner. Casey Stoner's role cannot be dismissed. The Australian's words, his presence, his perspective. It was the reminder Bagnaia needed. A voice outside the chaos. A man who had conquered Ducati when few believed it possible. The psychological boost was immeasurable. Sometimes it's not setup. Sometimes it's not data. Sometimes it's belief. And so, Misano's Monday test may have given Bagnaia what he needed most. Not parts, not settings, not theories, but confidence. Braking hard, feeling alive, reclaiming the instinct that once made him champion. No escape, no surrender, no retreat. The sprint at Motegi will tell the truth. Saturday has been his curse all year. Without podiums in 5 straight rounds, he must prove not just speed, but resilience. One session means nothing. One weekend means everything. For Bagnaia, this is the line. This is the fight. This is the rebirth. Only pride, only pressure, only Pecco.